Hey everyone, Kyle Walker here. If you love cars, fixing things, or just want to understand your vehicle better, you're in the right place. I share hands-on tips, smart driving advice, and straight-up car talk without the fluff. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around till the end. You don't want to miss what's coming up. Let's get into it.
Mankind actively uses the planet's resources and pollutes the environment, caring little about what will remain after us. Inexhaustible resources are used minimally, and those that may be exhausted in the near future, just the opposite. Oil reserves in particular are severely depleted, while the need for fuel is only growing. At current consumption rates, renewal of the resource is out of the question, especially since it would take more than 1 millennium. Thinking about global problems, scientists are taking steps to replace the fuel obtained by oil refining with alternative options. All attempts so far have not brought serious success, but only gave impetus for further developments. Nevertheless, alternative fuels for cars are already used today, albeit on a small scale. In addition, in the fight for ecology, or to be in the trend, well-known automakers are producing more and more environmentally friendly cars, hybrid cars, and cars equipped with emission reduction systems. As it is known, combustion products of classic fuel cause enormous harm to the environment, so the fuel that will replace gasoline and diesel fuel will solve two problems at once: the lack of energy resources and the preservation of nature. Research in this direction has been conducted for many years by scientists from different countries. At the moment, several types of alternative fuels capable of replacing conventional fuel in the future are used, and two variants of application are practiced: partial, as additives, and full substitution. Of course, the widespread introduction of the developments will require a lot of time and money investments, in particular, for the development of infrastructure, as such vehicles must be provided with refueling stations, which at this stage is not too actively implemented. NGVs. The optimal option for replacing gasoline and diesel fuel in all respects today is NGV fuel. It is an economical and environmentally friendly type of fuel that is widely used all over the world. In Russia, among other types of alternative motor fuel, liquefied hydrocarbon gas and compressed natural gas are more common. The consumption of gas as a fuel for cars is constantly increasing, as it is favored by large reserves of the resource, active development of gas filling infrastructure, and relatively low cost. City authorities save impressive amounts of money by converting passenger transport and municipal vehicles to NGVs. Fueling networks are growing rapidly, and the infrastructure and fuel supply are expected to expand significantly in the coming years. Many companies are now striving to operate their vehicle fleets on natural gas, and car owners who appreciate the economy in it is noticeable from the first kilometers are also switching to it, although the initial conversion of the car will require considerable costs. Thus, compressed or liquefied methane, liquefied hydrocarbon gases in the form of propane-butane mixtures, on which the fuel is based, due to numerous advantages, are a more logical alternative to the usual fuel. Electricity. Attempts to propel a car using electricity have been made since the first cars were built. Modern developments have accelerated the development of the automotive industry in this direction and hint at the widespread introduction of the technology in the near future. More recently, electric cars were presented to the public in single copies, but today they are already put on the stream. Read also, is it allowed to drive a car without a bumper? Hybrids are also being mass-produced, which today's most famous car companies consider necessary to have in their lines. In many countries, owners of environmentally friendly cars are encouraged by significant subsidies or tax benefits, or even exempted from tax. Hybrid cars function on both gasoline and electricity, which is very convenient in terms of economy and lack of direct dependence on electricity sources. The car will not stop moving if the energy supply runs out, but will switch to the use of traditional fuel. Electric cars, most often equipped with large lithium-ion batteries and completely dependent on electric power, are not being introduced on a large scale due to the need to regularly search for power sources, and the infrastructure in this direction is not in a hurry to develop. The biggest step forward was made by Sweden, where the world's first electrified road for charging vehicles while driving was recently opened. Its length is only 2 kilometers, but the government plans to introduce charging roads on a large scale. There are plans to expand the network of such roads in the near future to increase the number of pollution-free vehicles. Alternative fuel sources in the form of electricity are, of course, quite promising, but so far it is not possible to fully implant innovations. The problem also lies in the maintenance of such vehicles. A rare car service will take on an electric car or hybrid, and those that specialize in this will charge a considerable price for services. And the cost of the cars themselves will not be affordable for everyone. Hydrogen. In the search to replace the traditional fuel with an alternative fuel, it was only necessary to turn to history, and the idea was realized in the use of flammable hydrogen, the reserves of which are practically inexhaustible if production is established with the help of renewable energy sources. The use of the substance was practiced 2 centuries ago and has long been used in rocket engines. Hydrogen had to be forgotten as a lifting gas for air transport, which was facilitated by the tragedy that happened to the airship Hindenburg. But in reality, the gas is no more dangerous than any other fuel if properly handled. The transition to a new type of fuel does not require large investments, because no major design changes will be needed. Hydrogen can be used in classic internal combustion engines, and a small upgrade of the ignition system will help to avoid a drop in internal combustion engine power. Combustion of hydrogen mixture, which replaces fuel, provides the release of more energy than in the case of gasoline, which will provoke overheating of the elements of the engine structure. The substance also, when heated, will negatively affect the lubrication of mechanisms, so that, although insignificant, but modernization is still necessary. In general, the direction has prospects, but requires a lot of effort to put into practice. The eco-friendliness of hydrogen transportation is undeniable, as the exhaust of such a vehicle is even drinkable. The danger of the gas is minimized due to its volatility, so if a leak occurs in the open, it will quickly dissolve in the air, and the rattling mixture is not to be feared, but in a closed space there is a danger of suffocation, for example, if the car is in a garage. Prospective developments of modernity on the transition to hydrogen as an environmental fuel is already being implemented by leading automakers such as Toyota, BMW, Honda, Mercedes, and Mazda. Read also, what are the benefits and advantages of using fuel cards for individuals and legal entities? Biodiesel. In Europe, the United States, and a number of other countries, in the form of an alternative to traditional fuel, decided to use biodiesel. Fuel based on vegetable oils, which is a methyl ester obtained as a result of chemical reactions, is used both in pure form and in mixtures with diesel fuel. Various agricultural crops are used for fuel extraction, most often rape, soybean, coconut and palm oils, jatropha, as well as waste vegetable oils and animal fats. The use of alternative biodiesel fuel does not require correction of the engine design, but a significant disadvantage is a short shelf life of 3 months, after which the decomposition of components begins. The disadvantages also include negative impact on the paintwork of the body and engine parts, loss of properties in frosts, reduction of engine power. In addition, the means used to grow the required plants on a large scale lead to a decrease in soil quality, and significant areas are required for the production of raw materials. Biodiesel is not classified as a 100% eco-product, but compared to conventional diesel fuel, the fuel will be cleaner. However, despite the advantages of biodiesel, including cheapness of the product and low level of toxicity, it is unlikely that this option replacing conventional fuel will be implemented everywhere. Alcohols. Among alternative types of automotive fuels, alcohols known for their good flammability, namely ethanol and methanol, added to gasoline, or independently in pure form, have become widespread. Ethanol is actively used in hot countries of Latin America, extracted from wood waste and sugar cane. Ethanol is characterized by a high octane number. It provides high engine performance and reduces harmful emissions. Methanol, or wood alcohol extracted from pine needles, is successfully used as an alternative fuel by the United States and European countries due to its low cost of production. Methyl alcohol has a high octane rating and is less expensive than ethyl alcohol. At gas stations you can find gasoline with added alcohols, marked with the letter designations E and M, as well as numbers that indicate the percentage of alcohol content. In the case of marking M100 or E100, it is impossible to pour the fuel into an ordinary internal combustion engine. The use of 100% alcohols, both ethanol and methanol, as fuel will require conversion of the vehicle engine. With such an abundance of alternatives, there are no serious advances in the transition to a new level of technological development, and gasoline is still the main type of fuel for refueling cars. It is doubtful that in the coming years we will see a technological breakthrough in the direction of full, or at least some partial, replacement of traditional fuel with alternative fuel, but in general the developments are very promising. In conclusion, the shift towards alternative fuels for modern cars is not just a trend but a necessary evolution in our quest for sustainability and reduced environmental impact. With options like electric, hydrogen, and biofuels gaining traction, we have the potential to significantly decrease our reliance on fossil fuels. As technology continues to advance, these alternatives will become more accessible and efficient, paving the way for a cleaner, greener future in transportation. Embracing these innovations is crucial for both our planet and future generations. Thank you for watching, and let's drive towards a sustainable tomorrow.